On the breakdown, one-handed frost staff. Application, skills and builds, pros and cons. The frost staff is mainly used in solo and duo mists, corrupted dungeons, ganking and occasionally in Avalonian dungeons. The frost staff's ability blows freezing wind in a cone in front of you and dealing damage, and if enemy doesn't get out of the freezing wind in time, he will become immobilized. A full breakdown of skills in the video about the Perma Prism. Skills and builds for solo and duo mists. For skills, I recommend using the third Q. It's easy to hit and slow the target by 20%, making it easier to catch up. Always take Blink on W for mobility. For the passive, choose the first one, which after every 5th spell cast your next auto attack roots the target enemy by 1 second. For boots, you can use any plate boots for running and healing, or any leather boots with refreshing sprint, which reduces skill cooldown while sprinting. Personally, I prefer plate boots, because the 100 to 100 HP every 30 seconds is always useful. For plate boots, use the defensive passive. For leather boots, take the cooldown passive. For the chest, take the assassin jacket for invisibility. It helps you to wait for cooldowns and create distance. Set the cooldown passive as well. Cowl of Purity shoots a beam at 18 meters, interrupts enemy spell and deals periodic damage. It's an ideal choice for kiting. Put a passive ability on damage. Alternatively, for a budget option, you can use the Mage Cowl, which realizes a 15-meter fire blast dealing damage in a cone. For the passive, select the damage boost. The Mercenary Hood deals damage in a cone in front of you, slows down the target and reduces the damage they deal by 30%. Useful for chasing and reducing damage, is typically used in overgear setup. For the passive, choose the cooldown reduction. Mist Color for cooldown reduction. Undead Cape provides additional visibility, or the Tedford Cape for extra damage every 15 seconds. For consumables, eel stew or omelets as a budget option, and health potions. Skills and builds for corrupted dungeons. For frost staff in corrupted dungeons, it's better to use first Q. Althro is harder to hit, but it deals more damage than the third Q and has less cooldown. Since corrupted dungeons are 1 vs 1 PvP, the first Q makes it easier to win HP trades. For W, use Blink. In rare case you can switch to Frost Lance, if you can secure a kill with Blink. Before the fight, I recommend breaking 1 or 2 shards to make it easier to skip the fight if it needed. For passive, I suggest either the third passive, to cast Q faster every 4th spell, or the fourth passive, for a 10% damage boost every 5th spell. Hunter Hood reflects 85% of incoming damage and grants resistance, making it suitable for a more aggressive playstyle. For passives you can choose either cooldown reduction or damage. Cowl of Purity is ideal for kiting, from the passive damage boost. Cultist Robe heals for 7.5% of your maximum HP and 5% of your maximum mana over 4.5 seconds, while also giving you some damage resistance. Use the damage passive. Any plate boots for running and healing. Use the defense passive. Mist Color for cooldown reduction. Loomhurst Cape to prevent running out of mana. For consumables, omelets and health potions. Skills and builds for Avalonian dungeons. Second Q for AoE damage and 5th W to buff damage the whole team. Third passive to cast faster Q ability every 4th spell. Royal Cowl to prevent running out of mana. Use passive on damage. Druid Robe increases damage by 6% for 10 seconds after each spell casting, stacking up to 6 times. Use passive on damage. Royal Sandals increases movement speed and damage, but also increases damage taken by 13%. Use damage passive. Crypt Candle enhances magical and physical abilities, but reduces your defense by a percentage depending on its tier. Morgana Cape activates with E ability, reducing cast time by 15% for 8 seconds, perfect for the second Q. For consumables, omelets and energy potions. Ganker build. I'm not a fan of what these guys do, but to know what you're up against, let's break down this build. It's all about chasing down your target, knocking them off their mount and taking them out fast. Third Q, W skill is Blink and first passive. Layering Cane increases the duration of crowd control effects and slightly reduces skill cooldowns. Skin or Cup sets a trap with a 2-meter radius. When triggered, it causes bleeding and slows the target by 19% for 3 seconds. Graveguard Armor throws a chain at targeted enemy. Within a 30-meter radius is pulled toward you over 2 seconds. Passive increases crowd control duration. Hunter Shoes skill Rush boosts your movement speed and increases the duration of crowd control effects by 35% for 3 seconds. Passive on damage. You can just skip the cape, it's not like it matter much anyway, and it'll cost less. Consumables, Poison Potion, Eel Stews or Omelets. Pros and Cons. Pros: it's easier to land the ability in Mist and Corrupted dungeons compared to Chill Howl, as it deals damage instantly and has a shorter cooldown. Offers a lot of build variation, high mobility and excellent crowd control. From cons, enemies can run out of your ability. Since this stuff is not crafted from an artifact, it has a lower item power and consistently deals less damage with Q abilities. This is why Chill Howl is preferred for Avalonian dungeons, as it has a higher base item power. That's all, thanks for watching.